Hunter saves it. Hunter Hughes is coming around. Here comes Colton Gardner. It's Hunter Hughes!
Turn 4 for the final time. Who's got more ponies? Checkered flag out. Bluegrass 150 goes to Ian Miller.
And welcome back to the Daily Driven Podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit.
Good, get the name out there. It's like, hey, Joseph Newgarden, you're the guy with the sperm commercial. Yeah.
Back for another Wednesday night dash as we get set for another banger here from Richmond for the River City 100. This championship battle has only gotten spicier and spicier as we have reached the crawl to the Phoenix finale. It is just a handful of races remaining, and the question still remains, who is going to be the one coming out on top? Here's how they'll line up here for 100 laps here at Richmond Motor Speedway. And it will indeed be Dawson Buchanan and Colton Gardner on the front row. Expect anything different. John Miles, another phenomenal qualifying for him. Jacob Barker trying to get a second win in a row after a phenomenal last week at Auto Club. Eric Richardson and DJ Fluck trying to run back their incredible 1-2 finish at the Indy Racing World Series event yesterday. Eric Mattingly, another great start for him with Harrison Santos in 8th. Looking a little bit further back, JP Jones and Bill Molefield rounding out your top 10. Derek Booker in the 93 starting 11th alongside Christopher Fuge, with Jax Malin, Casey Tucker, and Connor Fuge rounding out your field of 16. So Jackson Lambros with you here in the Stadium Scene TV broadcast booth. Happy to be with you as we get ready for another night of action here at the world famous Richmond Raceway. Let's take a quick look at this track, as again, the third time we are visiting here, and we've had 40 minutes of getting prepped here for 100 laps. You guys know the drill at this point. No stages. We abandoned that last year, but we will be giving you the opportunity to do one green-white checker. The need. And again, 14-degree turns, able to carry a good amount of speed. Going to be a very similar environment to what we might see at Phoenix here in a couple weeks' time, but could be just a little bit more. Obviously, no dogleg to use. You've got grass that's able to come out and bite you. So a lot of really disciplinary environments here as we get this Pocono and then the finale. It is going to be absolutely a challenging handful of rounds here. So we're kind of abandoning our pack racing environment here that we've had the past couple races. We'll have that a little bit for Pocono as well. Maybe a little bit for Phoenix as well. But it is going to be difficult to overtake here. It's going to be some Martinsville level of aggression here. Some trucks to the inside, maybe. But we're going to have to wait and see just how aggressive these drivers are going to be. Add an emphasis on that between Dawson Buchanan and Colton Gardner, with Colton finally snatching that championship lead from Dawson after last week. And the question is, can that be held, or will we continue to go back and forth? Gardner on the outside, Buchanan on the inside. 100 laps here in River City. Who comes out on top? We're racing. And immediately, Buchanan works through. The door is open for Colton Gardner as immediately John Miles in that Fast Pro Shops 54 is going to slide on through for P2. Oh, and around goes Miles. Broadside out of turn number 4, collects the 80. JP Jones gets collected, the 93 of Booker getting a piece of it as well. And we are very quickly back under caution. JP Jones, minimal damage. Looks like got that outer rear quarter panel. Oh, big damage there for Eric Mattingly as well. Oh my. Get a replay of the start here. Buchanan out like, well, a cannon. And it was John Miles who wanted to waste no time and snatch that second place spot. Was there maybe a little bit of a tap from the 40? No, it was just lost on his own. Parker gets through. That is a scary place to be. And I mean, Mattingly, absolutely nowhere he could have gone. So a handful of cars collected there. Mattingly, unfortunately, a passenger. You could argue the same for a lot of others. Eric Richardson getting collected. He's just now coming back out in the 80. Derek Booker collected. He's back out on track as well. But hopefully should be set to go back racing here in just a couple laps' time. Only the second time, actually, that this series has visited Richmond. Last time we did it was in 2024 with the Cup Series cars. And the only drivers to do that was Colton, Brian McKinney, Tyler, John Miles, Lane Snow, and Eric Richardson. DJ Fluck as well, but it was Colton Gardner who won that race. He led every single lap except one. And at 4 laps in, we're not going to see a repeat of that. Colton and DJ lead the series with 16 short track starts. Colton leads with 8 wins. Tyler and Dawson Buchanan are tied with 2 apiece. Garrett Jarnigan and Jax Mainland each having a short track win to their names as well. But the short track king, not a shocker to those who have been seasoned in Wednesday Night Dash. It's Colton Gardner in the 40. We'll get an opportunity to re-rack him and re-stack him here. Just 5 laps in. Watch how different Colton may approach this, as the door might be open to Jacob Barker in that exact same piece of real estate. Back to green. Barker already taking a look to the inside in that Logitech 12 machine. And will take second almost instantly. Harrison Santos squabbles with DJ Fluck, but he'll go through in 4th. Santos in 5th. And almost the exact same move with Harrison Santos. He collects the 8, almost a second one for Barker. And we will immediately go under yellow again. Oh my goodness. What are we putting on the inside of turn number 4? Just trying to get a replay here. And just guys getting into these big lazy slides. 19, a Connor Fuge got collected in that as well. I think Derek Booker just barely able to avoid it. And now Harrison Santos, the second victim. So everybody's still in one piece here out in front. We'll grab Jacob Barker briefly here for Pit Boss in race update. Jacob, I'm dragging you in early. It's Jackson Lambros for the in-race update. Can you hear me? Doing phenomenal. Hey, early moves for you here. I know this obviously isn't what you intended for this levels of cautions early on. Is there anything you can share with us for the kind of slippiness here in 3 and 4?
Honestly, it's insane how slippy it is. It feels like ice. You're driving on ice. So, I mean, you just got to be super careful. And obviously, you can. I assume you guys can see it. Dawson's blinking a little bit. So hopefully we can have a super clean race with each other, given the circumstances from last week, how unfortunate that was between him and I. But no, like I said, we're gonna try to do our best, have a good race, and we'll go on from there.
Really appreciate it. Best of luck to you here on this restart.
Appreciate you, man.
That's Jacob Barker as we push him back over to the BRR team. Yeah, let's check in really quickly with your team standings as that battle continues to rage on as well. JM Motorsports still out in front with John Miles, Lane Snow, Jax Manlin, and Dawson Buchanan. But the Smoky Mountain Racing Show is really closing that gap. Colton Gardner, Chris Fuge, JP Jones, and Garrett Jarnigan. Honestly, a team that's evolved into a murderer's row in the second half. And speaking about that, actually, Jacob Barker pointed out earlier, might be some connection issues with Dawson Buchanan. We saw him kind of blinking in and out while we had him on air with us. There he goes again. So hopefully netcode won't netcode. That's what we saw in the carnage at Fontana last week. And these guys are known for sharing the same piece of racetrack often. But Jacob Barker trying to run back that opening race victory from Vegas. Buchanan continuing to drop out. Colton Gardner, will he give Barker a taste of his own medicine on this restart? A 10th of the way home in the River City 100. DJ Fluck further back, leaving that door open. Jax Malin going to go through, and the 9 will snatch P5. Buchanan holds the lead for now as Gardner goes through. That is the disconnect for Dawson Buchanan. And immediately a huge shakeup potentially in our podium and in our championship standings. And he's back. You've got to wonder at what point does iRacing throw in the towel and say you're out of here. Because that was a whole 5-10 seconds. He was entirely off the server. But Colton Gardner still has life in that 40 Mustang as he tries to close that gap to the 4. We've stayed green. I haven't even mentioned that in one piece here coming out of turn number 4. And Derek Booker in the 93 is right there. Here's a look from Casey Tucker on DJ Fluck. Big peek to the inside of turn number 1. Fluck trying to make that Highline work in the 88. And just as I say that, of course, we are under caution again. And is that another moment for Harrison Santos? It might have been. That might have been contact from the 49 of Chris Fuge down low. Or is it just another spin? It is. Coming onto the front straightaway, he'll back it across the stripe and do a full 360. So no cars actually involved there. Just a self-inflicted 360 there from Harrison Santos. So Dawson Buchanan has still led every single lap. Colton Gardner and Jacob Barker have been trading second and third. Nobody able to really break those podium spots quite yet, though. Aside from John Miles, who is back in the mix, I believe. Yes, he is. You see him back there in the 54. There he is behind JP Jones. And we actually do have a couple takers to pit road, it would look like. I think Bill Molefield coming in, as well as Eric Richardson. I talked to Bill Molefield once before the end of the season, man. He's been so close to a podium. Clearly, drivers needing to take a little bit of caution here, coming back onto the front stretch. And you got to ask yourself what the top guys have that's dialed in on the rear end of that car, where some of the others are struggling, where John Miles, where Harrison Santos have been struggling. So still your championship 2 out in front. Here's your standings after Auto Club. Dawson Buchanan taking that lead over Colton Gardner, 254 over 246. You look further back, Tyler Lugo, Vickery's wreck at Auto Club really hurt his chances of catching the leader, but is only 7 points back from Jax Malin in third. You got Garrett Jarnigan at 216. Jacob Barker still at a chance of P3 in this as well. Didn't mention this earlier on, but Blue Ridge holding the lead in third. FR Racing, though, has been cutting that gap to 18. Really good showing for them at Fontana last week as well. We'll see what the Blue Ridge crew can do. Dawson Buchanan still having connection issues. And for Colton Gardner, he is going to be praying that router gives up for the 4, because that would flip this championship battle on its lid. Jax Malin, in classic number 9 style, has been chipping his way into this podium conversation. And we'll see what he can do on the outside of that beige number 9 machine. 5th of the way home in the River City 100, Buchanan fires away from the lead. Once again, here comes Jacob Barker down low into 1. Booker trying to do the same on Malin. Will stay side by side. Big wiggle on the exit at 2 there. For Derek, will stay 2 abreast further back. Big lift off throttle. 93 thought of threading the needle there for a moment. How about that for defense, though? Colton Gardner hangs it around the outside to keep P2 from the 12 of Jacob Barker. I think everyone's scared of maybe making a move on Dawson right now, because they know there's a good chance they maybe lunge for the lead, and there's a good chance he reconnects inside of you. Pause. You know what I mean. Pack starting to split up here as Barker, Gardner, and Buchanan start to break away just a little bit now from Derek Booker. With DJ Fluck in the wall there coming out of turn 2. Here comes JP Jones with a big lunge from the 21. Fluck, one of the few drivers that's been trying to experiment with that high line. Not quite Iowa levels of grip here, but Casey Tucker is going to try and go with him. And he's got it. Fluck continuing to drop back. Not the night the FR Racing boys have won it after a 1-2 finish in the Indy Racing World Series at Iowa yesterday. But still plenty of racing ahead of us as we are just a quarter of the way home here at Richmond. So yeah, gap really starting to show itself here. But you look at Jacob Barker in that 12 starting to experiment, trying to find a way around that 40. And this is really helping his chances of moving up to third in the standings. Further back, Jax Malin giving a little bit of a love tap. Oh my goodness, Booker on the brake, spins it on the high line coming into turn number 3. And this will surely bring out another caution. It was contact with the 9 that brought it out initially. And he was just not able to gather it back up afterwards. Let's get a look at that instant replay coming out of turn number 2. Malin trying the low line. And Malin getting in door to door. That first hit, I think, bent suspension on the 93. Spun him all the way up into the wall. Fortunately, outside of the racing line. But is fortunately able to get that car going once again. And all of a sudden, everybody works their way into pit row. John Miles and Chris Fuge staying out. One of the Fuge brothers staying out. But here we go. This is where we saw some really, really good opportunities to overtake earlier on in previous weeks. It's how Colton Gardner got to the front at Auto Club. Are we going to see the same effect this time by Buchanan wasting 0 time there and slipping on through? That's how we saw, matter of fact, that's how we saw Jacob Barker get through. He's actually fallen back as a result now, as he's lost P9, or excuse me, need this to sort itself out. He's lost P3 to Jax Malin. Casey Tucker right there, though, in P5. Trying to get himself a lap back as he gets the lucky dog. So John Miles, and it's actually Chris Fuge getting the promotion up to the front. Do I have a Chris Fuge I can interview? I have a Connor Fuge I can interview. I'm saving that for later because he's got a neat little livery here. Livery or a scheme? What do you guys prefer, chat? He's got cool colors, and we're going to talk about that later on. So John Miles trying to pull a Danny Sullivan and go for a spin and win here. He'll start on the inside alongside Chris Fuge and Dawson Buchanan. You look at a golden opportunity for the 4 here. That door is going to be wide open on the outside. We'll see if he can take the lead. Potentially get past that 49, kind of use that spacing between himself and his championship adversary. 30 laps down, 70 to go at Richmond. Buchanan going to try and make quick work of the 49, might make quick work of the 54. He goes all the way down to the inside. Gardner does the same. And Chris Fuge really offline. 3 or 4 cars are going to slip on through. On board with Jax Malin as he tries to go through. Chris Fuge continuing to lose positions. Will stay green. And another peak on the inside of the 49 as Malin tries to get through. He's still ahead of Jacob Barker with Eric Mattingly and Harrison Santos further back. Tucker losing a good chunk of spots on that restart as well. No pressure just yet for the lead. But Dawson Buchanan has quickly found himself trying to work around John Miles, trying the outside. Is there enough momentum? There is. That's the first time we've seen someone walk the tightrope to get the lead, and now all of a sudden, Colton Gardner's going to have to do the same. Big wiggle on the throttle further back there. Jax Malin with a big defense. He's trying to work around the outside of John Miles all the way up into the wall. He's got it, but Miles is going to try and swing back. A big lunge to the inside as he'll try to get by Chris Fuge. Now Barker wants to make it a 3-wide battle coming out of turn number 3. Big kerfuffle in the mid-pack. And up front, here comes Colton Gardner. As we might see another new leader, we will. Colton Gardner plants and launches to take that lead from the 4 of Dawson Buchanan. Can Jax Malin go with him in the 9? Not enough momentum there quite yet. Chris Fuge somehow has been able to hold on to 4. And John Miles drops all the way back down to 6th. Make that from 6 to 7 as Jacob Barker slots on through. Ooh, contact there, DJ Fluck. Who is 2 laps down already. Got the chrome horn from, I want to say, Connor Fuge. But Colton Gardner with the lead here at Richmond Raceway, and John Miles continues to drop back. Dawson Buchanan and Jax Malin following your leader. With Jacob Barker, Chris Fuge finally getting a little bit of breathing room here. With Casey Tooker trying to go with him. Here's a look to the inside as Tooker tries to put another one away. Jax Malin still right there. Jacob Barker kind of moving into an archipelago at this point. One of the longest green flag stints we have had all night. DJ Fluck back in the pits. Eric Richardson unfortunately retiring. Due to one incident we didn't see. And there's our caution again as we just watched Derek Booker get a big chunk of the inside wall. Was anybody else collected? That is hard to tell, but yet another incident there for the 93. So here's a replay as another little bit of a tank slapper coming out of turn 2. Does anybody get collected? Bill Molefield almost gets him into the wall. Harrison Santos gets through unscathed as well. So that is unfortunately a bad night gone worse for the 93. So Colton Gardner will lead under caution for the first time tonight and will hold it, as we've got a big chunk of drivers that are still lighting on through here. Jacob Barker, Casey Tooker, all coming in. JP Jones gets the promotion up into 3rd. And we will bring Connor in now for your second pit bus in race update of the night. Hi, Connor. It's Jackson Lambros here in the Stadium Scene broadcast booth. You got me, my friend? What's up, my friend? Hey, interesting call here. You're going with JP on the long run here, same with Colton. What's the reasoning here behind trying to play the long game?
Gonna play it safe. I don't have that much confidence at this track, so I know since I'm playing it safe, my tires aren't as worn as everyone else's probably are. So I could get a few more laps out of these tires than everyone else could.
It's going to be really hard for me to keep talking to you without mentioning this livery, and we've unfortunately lost the other half of it. But do we want to maybe share with the class the inspiration here of the Eric Magnet car?
Well, last season in the trucks, on like 2 of the short track races, I spun Eric, and so that's where the whole fuse repellent came from. It wasn't on purpose, obviously, but that's where it came from. And so when he posted that he was gonna do a fuse repellent car, I was like, oh, I gotta make a sorry Eric car.
We'll have to
so
look.
It has the messages in the Discord.
I was gonna say, let me see if I can find the suspension panels. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, about to get back to green here. You're getting in a prime spot, and hopefully the apologies will pay off for you in the long run. Best of luck to you on this restart, Connor.
Later, Jackson.
That's your Pit Boss in-race update with the 19, I guess I'm sorry, Eric machine of Connor Fuge, one of the Fuge brothers we have seen out in front. That is the rear quarter panel of Colton Gardner. He'll be set to lead us back to green again. And a great opportunity here, not just for JP Jones, but for Colton Gardner. And we didn't even talk about the guys that came in and pitted, but best of the rest is Dawson Buchanan. We'll see what he can do from P6. Lap 46, we're back to green. Watch Dawson Buchanan immediately trying to put Fuge away. Moved up, and Buchanan, like a man on a mission, trying to slot through JP Jones as well. He goes all the way to the inside in that green and bronze 21 machine. Malin and Barker trying to go through. Gardner has zero pressure to complete lap 46. Trying to work the long way around. Bit of a sidestep there from JP. That's giving Buchanan some commitment, and 2 miles goes around. And Richmond Raceway claiming another "we're gonna stay green," although that is far from clean for John Miles. Everybody bunched up further behind. We must have missed a move. Here goes JP Jones. He collects Jax Malin. Oh my goodness. Middle of the racetrack. That will bring us under caution again for real. Holy smokes, how did that not collect anyone? I'm going to go even further back, actually, so we can figure out how this lead got lost for Dawson. Here he is in the 4 behind JP Jones. Took it in too deep, trying to work the outside of JP. That leaves the door open for Jax Malin. He gets a really good run. There's your code brown for John in the back of your picture. So still trying to work the Highline there on the 21. Here comes the 9 of Malin. And we'll give a big lunge to the inside. Tries to get a 2-fer. We'll settle for the 4. And then JP just gets around, collects Jax. Let's grab Jax's camera here. And, oh my goodness. Big code brown there for Casey Tooker and Eric Mattingly. And that is heartbreak again for Jax Malin. We talk about the warrior drives we've seen from the 9 for just getting to the front of the field, staying in contention always. And that is another one, unfortunately, away. So Chris Fuge continuing to run in the top 3 here. Casey Tooker with another opportunity to stand on the podium. And John Miles, despite spinning, is back in 8th, it would seem. Halfway home here in the River City 100, presented by Showtime Esports Production. Jackson Lambros with you in the broadcast booth. So happy you're spending your Wednesday night with us once again. After the race, you can join Wednesday Night Dash drivers Eric Richardson and DJ Fluck as they bring you This Week in Real and Simulated Motorsports on This Week It's DJ and Eric discussing the NASCAR Charlotte Roval, what is race manipulation, and the pros and cons of all this sports betting. Did DJ put money on Logano at plus 1,200 again for the second year in a row? Download FR Racing's Garage Talk on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or tune in after the race. All new episodes released Friday mornings, including the simulcast here on Stadium Scene TV starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. I don't want to throw my hat in the ring too hard on the sports betting thing, but outside of racing, when the manager of the San Diego Padres is retiring, and apparently death threats from sports bettors is a big piece of the pie as to why he's stepping back, that's maybe saying something. Buchanan finds his way back to the lead. Barker on the outside. Chris Fusion took her right behind. We're green. Buchanan all the way up to the outside, trying to arc turn one. Here comes Jackson Lambros on the inside. Oh my goodness. Mattingly gets collected around. He's in too deep. Tucker got a piece of it as well. And back to caution again. The motto for sim racers around the world. If I could have made that move work, man, that would have been sick. Who's just snuck in here? Oh my god. I've been jump scared by DJ Fluck in the broadcast booth, which it isn't. Hang on, I gotta flip this on. DJ Fluck's jump scaring me here in the broadcast booth. You're in the pit lane. I'm gonna assume you're out of the race.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I used both fast repairs in two consecutive, and then right after I got out, I had a rough re-entry onto the track where just a whole herd stampede came behind me, and tried to get out of the way, and it didn't go well, and I trashed my car, and I'm done for the night. This has been something. I don't know what else to call it, but yeah, this is it's been rough.
Can you
very rough.
Can you share with us at all the slippiness on track? Because we've seen a couple of incidents here. Harrison Santos spinning in turn 3, a couple of incidents for John Miles coming out of 2.
It just, I don't know what is up. We run a practice on Monday night, and it went pretty smooth. I mean, we had 8-10 cars out there peak, and we're having no issues whatsoever. But for whatever reason, turn 3 tonight, it's just, there's something about it. I don't know what it is. It just feels really slick, and people are just losing it. Going into 3, coming out of 3, going into 4, and I can't explain it. It's like driving on a sheet of ice out there, and you've seen it repeatedly.
So again, a lot of guys clearly having something a little bit more dialed in on the rear end. I think Dawson Buchanan really getting that figured out. You've had kind of a handful of struggles throughout this championship standings, or throughout your championship duel here. You look at Dawson Buchanan, handful of connection issues. A couple of times we thought he might have flatlined on connection.
I thought he disappeared at one point. He dropped out of the standings. I thought he was gone, and then all of a sudden he appeared back on track. And I was like, oh, that was close. But it's trying to see. Colton dropped back to 10th. That's,
so he was also involved in the Malin move there and was on the receiving end of it. Doesn't look like there's too much damage to that fire rescue Mustang. So no harm, no foul. Obviously, probably a little bit of frustration there for Jax Malin, who, I mean, we saw that move, DJ. It was overambitious, certainly.
I'm going to be watching him again.
Just going 3 wide into turn 1 there, I think might have been just a little bit too much. Let's talk about Chris Fuge really quickly as well, starting in this 3rd place spot. This has kind of been the hot seat for a lot of drivers, just because if you're on the outside of row 1, that door is kind of wide open for you to kind of snatch
Harrison
second.
Into the wall in 3. Harrison into the wall in 3. He's staying down. No caution, no caution. Oof, that was a hard hit.
We'll we'll try and get a replay of that when we can.
Yeah, Harrison, that pushed him over the 18x penalty limit, so he's got to drive through for that. I mean, he might be done altogether after that. That was a hard hit.
Only one way to find out. Back to green. We've got 40 laps to go in the River City 100. And what did I say? Almost immediately, peak from Chris Fuge on the inside here. He snatched P3 from David Barker. Casey Tucker trying to do the same. Further back, roll that momentum up high. But all of a sudden, you've got Barker trying to do the switchback now on the 49. Good exit.
Oh, we
Not able to get there. Oh, another caution. And that... Oh, who is that, DJ?
That was Barker who got the caution. He, see what happened. He looks like he just got loose out of... I need a better camera.
So tried the inside. I'm not sure, because he was just a little bit sideways. Unless there was something else we missed a little bit further back in the field here.
Oh, yeah, he just got really loose coming at it, too, and then entered 3 at the bottom and just... Oh, dear God. He didn't hit anything. Nobody hit him. He didn't hit anything, and he's going again. Wow.
Just to get this move again.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, DJ, we keep talking about it. These big, lazy slides almost tags Jax Malin, John Miles, and Derek Booker almost getting a piece of it as well. We've gotten a couple of lucky breakaways here. That was almost a big one.
You don't have, I'm guessing you don't have the driver radio on, but he just came on the radio and said, yeah, kudos to everyone for not hitting me.
We try to keep it family friendly here, which is why I keep the driver radio off.
Yeah, it's a good move. So it's been a clean radio for the most part this year. There's been the occasional slip up, but
so this will keep the lead to Dawson Buchanan, DJ, and all of a sudden, for what feels like, I don't know if I can actually remember the last time we've seen this. We've got both of the Fuge brothers next to each other on the racetrack, and we talked with Connor just a little bit earlier on running the I'm sorry, Eric car. We've unfortunately lost the Fuge magnet machine earlier on before you retired. But hopefully those apologetics might work him a little bit further up in the field.
If you look at the rear bumper of Connor's car, there's a Discord exchange that says it's Connor that says, "Sorry, Eric."
Yeah.
Sorry again for spinning you, Eric. I didn't mean to, I promise.
So some bad blood there. Well, not necessarily bad blood, but a bad rap of those two being on the same piece of racetrack. For those not deep into Wednesday night dash lore, JP Jones, once again finding his way into the top 5 here, has not had a podium finish to his name so far this season. We'll see what he can do. And Colton Gardner, further back there in P5, has just been kind of chipping away at that kind of crawl back to the front. Has already gotten through Malin and Tucker. And I mean, we get to the final handful of rounds here in Season 6. You've gotten a lot of really, really fast drivers. Casey Tucker, JP Jones, who have not seen their way on the podium. So we'll have to see if things can change here.
Base car is dropping in.
Buchanan and Fuge on the inside. Another Fuge right behind with 35 laps to go here at Richmond. Buchanan fires off quickly. Door is open, and the two Fuge brothers will go 2 abreast further back. Colton Gardner trying to waste no time behind JP Jones, launching on the inside. Malin goes with him. JP Jones with a little bit of a scrape up into the wall. That made it very easy for both of these gentlemen. And all of a sudden, Connor Fuge with some great pace. He's trying to take the lead away from Dawson Buchanan.
I can't believe what I'm seeing here. This is awesome.
Further back, Jackson Malin trying to make a move on the inside of Chris Fuge. Oh, God, commentator's curse.
No, we jinxed him. Oh,
The
man.
commentator's curse in full example there. I'm not sure if there was any contact between the two that might have brought that out.
I don't think so. I think he just got loose out of that same corner.
Let's get a quick view of the restart here. And again, so rarely do we see that outside row 1 spot actually work. And maybe there was a little bit of brother teamwork there. Oh yeah, Chris really offline that, backed up JP Jones. That allowed Colton Gardner to get through with Jax Malin. So here's the move into turn number 1. He was making his intentions clear. But let's see, I think it was just maybe a little bit too much right foot coming out of turn 2. Yep. So he comes into the pits. It looks like Bill Molefield in that 911 machine will do the same. Harrison Santos. So that is, I think, our 4th or 5th spinner of the evening. And that will
That's been rough.
Yeah. And that will once again bring Dawson Buchanan and Colton Gardner on the same piece of racetrack.
Just destiny. It's just, we knew he'd find his way back up there again.
Jax Malin, we talk about the kind of characteristic race for him, and it always feels like it's starting in the mid-pack and then somehow finding his way to wins, to podiums, and despite getting tangled with JP earlier on, he's in a prime position here with 30 laps to go to work his way up to the front as well. You look at Jacob Barker, he's still in the mix there just behind Casey Tucker and JP. I mean, you look back and it does realistically feel like, I don't want to call it too early here, Deej, but like it's going to be Colton or Buchanan as your best chances of a victor. But podium, our podium here, it still genuinely feels like that 3rd place, it could be anyone's.
So on the restart, I want you to watch Dawson real quick, because I picked something up tonight. Because normally, like, you know, I was restarting towards the front for the, you know, the first little bit of that race, and it's the moment, you know, he changes it up, and there's times where he'll get into that restart zone and he's gone. There's other times where he'll wait, he'll get to the end of the restart zone, and I'm trying to see if there's a pattern to his madness or if it's just like, let's see what I'm going to do now. You know, I'm very curious, because the last time he waited towards the end of the restart zone before he took off, and I think the time before that he went right at the beginning of it. So let's keep an eye on that on this restart. Lights are out.
You rewind the clock to May of 2024. We ran this race in the Cup cars. It was domination for Colton Gardner. He led every single lap except one. It's been a little bit more of the opposite this time with Dawson Buchanan, and I think the restarts have been a very big factor in that early getaway there. As we've got 30 laps to go at Richmond, door is open for Chris Fuge to slide on through on the inside. JP Jones trying to get to work on Casey Tucker further back.
A little bit of a wall scrape there for Colton Gardner. Yeah, restarting on that outside is tough when you're going into 1 and 2 and you're just watching and you want to check up. You don't want to check up too quickly because you've got a whole row of cars behind you that are trying to anticipate your move, and it's been rough for the outside all night. Connor got loose.
Yep, you were one of the guys that were really experimenting on the Highline. You got JP Jones kind of forced into it right now. Oh, little bit of consideration there from Jacob Barker, who maybe wanted to go down onto the apron to make it 3 abreast. He said, I think I'm good. And we'll watch these two continue to battle out in front. But man, JP Jones might actually make this outside work. He's fully clear of Jax Malin. Now Malin with a little bit of a peek to the high side. Doors open for Barker. That almost looked like another moment we could have seen a spin. Big send to the outside there from Malin as he's trying to roll all of that momentum through turns 1 and 2. How about that? What a move. All the way around the outside is fully clear of the 21, and now Barker tries to go with him. And after 75 laps of work, this Highline might finally be starting to see some usage, see some life
Chris is right there on Dawson. Up. He thought about it.
We saw some attempts on the restart from both of the Fuge brothers. We've got one down as he is further back. He has rejoined. He's back in P8, I believe. But these two battling each other has brought Colton Gardner back into the mix. And meanwhile, you can throw a blanket over the battle here for 4th, 5th, and 6th. A big shove from the inside of Jacob Barker trying to get that 21 of Jones ahead. Malin not having a lot of companions on the outside. Here's a big send from the inside of Jacob Barker. They'll stay 2 abreast. JP not afraid of the high line, but does not have the pace there. And Barker continues to charge forward.
JP got a little loose coming out of that turn. I saw some smoke back there, but we carry on.
So we'll stay clean and green here with 20 laps to go. Don't want to mention the elephant in the room, but again, should we have something bring out a yellow close to the end, we'll have one shot at a green-white checkered. And after that, whatever flag ends it will pretty much end it. We've had, I think, 3 or 4 restarts at the end of the race, and unfortunately 2 of them have ended under caution. One, I believe, was Gateway. The other was Daytona. That's when we had our big slew of penalties being dished out. But through all of the carnage we've had this season, it has been razor thin between 1st and 3rd on track right now. Dawson Buchanan off to a very, very strong start this season. Colton Gardner been lockstep seemingly every opportunity. A big wiggle there from Buchanan coming out of 2. He knows there's championship implications behind him, and while he's got Fuge behind, he'd like that insurance on track. He might lose that because Colton Gardner is leaving that door open for the 40 to slide on through. Lap traffic starting to become a factor as well. The Whataburger machine of Eric Mattingly up on the high line won't play too much drama. We'll go 3 wide coming out of turn number 2, and that is finally P2 for Colton Gardner.
3 wide.
Jacob Barker further back, just barely. Gutsy move further back as he'll continue to battle with Chris Fuge, and all of a sudden Colton Gardner is weapons free to try and take this lead away from Dawson Buchanan. 17 laps to go here in the River City 100.
Dawson's had a couple of wall brushes.
The internet has seemingly been kinder to him here in the closing stanzas of this race. Again, he was one of the guys that chose to stay out when a lot of guys after the halfway point elected to get a new Eric Goodyear Racing Eagles. So he might be struggling for grip suddenly. And we talked about this in the post-race interviews after Auto Club. The amount of respect these guys have on track is tremendous. When they get wheel to wheel like this, we have not seen heartbreak as a result. Could this be the night things change? That was a gutsy set to the inside. Jack Malin into the wall.
We got a caution. Yes, we
Oh.
do.
Another almost moment of collection there for Casey Tucker, who again has seemingly had like 3 different Lightning McQueen moments this evening. And the boulder for Jax Malin, who could have walked out of this racetrack tonight, 3rd in point standings, as that boulder rolled back to the bottom of the hill. As we ride on board here with Jax, this is the lap before, so he's trying to get to work here on Jacob Barker. Again, that's the podium just ahead. We'll check in here with this final round of pit stops in just a moment, as this is certainly a self-induced incident. Again, just on the right foot, a little bit too quick. We thought he saved it initially, and there is your caution light. Nobody collected, fortunately. So how about this? Casey Tucker and JP Jones stay out. That will push Dawson Buchanan and Colton Gardner back to 3rd and 4th. What you got?
I don't know. I think they're going to make quick work of them with those fresh tires.
You think so?
I think these two have been out here a while. I mean, it's, you know, you got to do something different from your opponent. So we're getting up there.
And we know the racing term of cautions breeding cautions. I think you got to imagine that's the strat right now that Casey Tucker and JP Jones are hoping for, where their green flag running is minimal.
You're going to have JP running on the outside with his teammate Colton Gardner restarting 4th directly behind him.
Ooh. What do you reckon the politics of that is on track? Do you,
no comment.
Do you
no
sit
comment.
on the high line, let him through? I don't know, man. That is challenging. Or do you maybe give a good nudge to the 21 and hope and pray he parks it on the inside, checks up maybe the 4? We're going to have to wait and see. It's hard when you've got your 2 teammates out in front. Actually, no, it's the ideal scenario because you can have them kind of hemorrhage everyone, I guess.
You got John Miles right behind Dawson.
So could be some power of friendship here. And again, even as we get to the final 10 miles here at Richmond, our guess for this podium is as good as yours. We have solid confidence that there will be a Dawson Buchanan and or Colton Gardner in there.
I'm not saying anything.
But who number 3 is?
I'm not saying anything.
When I get to predict stuff, it leads to chaos. And I would like a little bit of chaos here. 10 laps to go in the River City 100. Casey Tucker on the inside gets this party started, and immediately Dawson Buchanan all the way down to the yellow line. He'll try to take the lead coming into turn number 1. A big lunge. JP holds the outside. Colton Gardner trying to go with him. He's down low trying to get through Tucker. He can't get there just yet. Big buffer here for Buchanan out in front, and Tucker goes up the track. Narrowly gets into someone. Tucker drops back massively, and Miles goes around.
But we stay green?
Oh my goodness. Just the right amount of chaos. Oh, and around goes Fuge.
And there's the flag. There's the caution.
Oh my goodness. And breathe.
I'm not even racing anymore, and I think I'm more stressed than when I was in the car.
So just as we were hoping to stay clean and green to the end, Buchanan and Gardner make quick work of Casey Tucker and JP Jones. I want to get a full replay of that restart from Dawson Buchanan, because, man, Colton Gardner, I think, had a little bit of a slip up there, and that nearly drove Jacob Barker up the racetrack. Let's try and get the replay here. I'm a little bit too far back now. All right, here we go.
Our radio is silent.
They're saving the chirps for the checkered. So, oh, there it is. Oh, wow. So a little bit of a hiccup on the brakes there. He catches it. That checks Tucker up the racetrack. Jones goes on through. Miles goes around.
The driver radio. I just got a request from Connor. Can I get an end of line penalty for safety? I mean, you know, the racing.
That's accountability, man.
Yeah, I know. It just doesn't want to impact the finish of this race. I commend him for that.
There you go.
It's like at times the racing has not been great tonight, but you know when it has, it's been great. You know, there's been great moments, and it has been entertaining to say the least, even with all the caution laps.
So still a handful of rounds to go here after we wrap up at Wednesday Night Dash. We go to Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, and then we run akimbo to the Real Life Cup Series, the Real Life Xfinity Series, and we crown ourselves a champion under the lights at Phoenix. And just like in in Indy Racing World Series, we'll be running the dogleg configuration for that. And of course, you hope to see a couple of these guys in the Indy cars with us for the IRW West finale next week when we run the Indy 250, which I am so excited for.
I have good sources telling me that you'll see Dawson, you'll see John Miles there, you'll see Jax. I think you'll see Colton Gardner there. We usually get a really good turnout and a lot of people that come in and just race that event. It's like, we'd love to get you there for all 10 races, but hey, we end the year with a 250 miler at Indianapolis. That's a really awesome way to end that season.
The Tuesday before the finale, we'll run our kind of end-of-year fun race. That'll be the 4, 5, and 6. So the Gen 4, the car of tomorrow, and the Gen 6 in, for some reason, a draft pack multi-class Daytona race. So that will be chaotic. And
let's see a Gen 6 Mustang push a Gen 4 Taurus. Let's see how that goes.
Let's get our own little bit of chaos here as we've got 5 laps to go at Richmond. Parker wasting 0 time on the inside. Will not fully clear Gardner just yet.
Good restart from Dawson.
We've seen that level of proficiency on the restart, the variety you were talking about earlier, DJ. And he was hoping and praying that we were going to stay green because Gardner was thrown to the wolves on that restart. Nearly collected Casey Tucker in a moment. But this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the 4. We ride on board here with Jacob Barker. No move just yet from Colton Gardner as he tries to work the inside. And just needs 2 laps to go. Another peak here from Colton Gardner as he tries to work the inside. He cannot get there. You got one of the Fuge brothers on the inside there as lap traffic. He won't be a factor. JP Jones working the outside of the other Fuge right now. Chris trying to get the top 5, and that is a green-white checkered coming up.
Man, I don't even know what happened.
I don't either.
I'm looking around.
You reckon it might have been Connor on the apron? I did not see a car around.
I don't either. I'm looking through. Harrison, Casey looking good. I did not throw that caution. I swear.
We'll have to wait and see, and hopefully our podium here gives us a better answer.
No. Oh, come on. I think Connor parked it, and I think they may have... Oh, that may have been the caution.
Oh, no. So Connor, after getting the black flag, might have parked it inside it too, and that brought out the yellow.
Yeah, I don't see anything else, but he took a toe on that inside apron.
Oh, gotcha.
Dear.
So Casey Tucker, the only one taking this final pit stop, it would seem, as I think he was hoping to run to the end.
Casey was one to stay out last time, so that's...
Again, green-white checkered finish here. So after we drop the green flag here, whatever flag comes next, whether it's the checkered or the yellow, that'll end it. Should we throw a yellow, we'll freeze the field, and wherever you were when the light comes on, that is your finishing order. And again, we've had a handful of these that have unfortunately, I don't want to say be anticlimactic, but we've had 2 of them that have ended pretty much at the restart.
It's either the restart. Milwaukee had a turn 1 incident.
That's it.
Daytona had that faulty restart, we'll call it.
Again, you talk about big-time championship implications. Colton Gardner just finally getting into this championship lead. I'll tell you what, though, this is exactly where he wants to be in trying to snatch that second place spot from Jacob Barker in the 12. He's going to have to make really, really quick work of him, though, into turn 1 if he wants any shot of taking this lead.
Samuel Jackson said in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts. Buchanan on the inside, Barker on the outside, Gardner waiting in the wings for one more time. We'll throw the green here at Richmond. There's that quick work we were talking about from Colton Gardner. Is it enough? All the way down to the inside, and Jax Milan is around, and that is going to make it a ball game. Gardner's going to minimize the bleeding for this championship loss by clearing Barker. And Jacob Barker, his second podium finish in a row. Chris Fuge, JP Jones just barely able to miss it. John Miles, a great recovery drive from him. He was starting on the second row, spun pretty much coming out of turn 2, and ended up finishing in the mid-pack. But this battle continues to find ways to stretch to the final round. Checkered flag is out. The River City 100 belongs to Dawson Buchanan. And I'm in no position to call that fair, but when you have a guy that leads that level of laps for a huge chunk, it feels like a well-deserved battle for him. Colton Gardner was right there with him all night long. And had we stayed clean and green for just a couple more laps, you would have been hearing maybe a very different story, a very different context as we head into the final 2 rounds of the season. Dawson's going to burn it down here in the 4 machine. We'll step aside for just a moment here from Richmond Raceway and have your podium with us in just a couple moments. Stay with us. Your result after 100 laps here at Richmond Raceway. Dawson Buchanan, your winner, following a hard-charging Colton Gardner and Jacob Barker. Chris Fuge able to bring it home in 4th. JP Jones, John Miles recovers in 6th with Casey Tucker in 7th. Bill Molefield, another top finish for the 911. Jax Malin puts the 9 car in 9th. Connor the Apologizer home in 10th. As we look just quickly further back here, if I can find the button, Eric Mattingly, Harrison Santos, Derek Booker, DJ Fluck, Eric Richardson, and I guess me because I pressed the wrong button in registration, rounding out your field of 15. Let's bring it over to your podium, though, starting with Jacob Barker in the 12th. In the 12 car, it was a back and forth night all night long, my friend. Talk to me about that race behind the wheel.
Interesting is the word of the night. We'll start with that. But yeah, it was a very, like you said, it was an up and down night. Pretty fun. Wish we had a little bit more green flag racing than what we did, but you know, we'll have that sometimes. But I'm very proud of all the effort that all of us put into this event for tonight. Thankful for everyone with Logitech and W Energy Formula who helped make this go round, and looking forward to what we can do for the rest of the year.
Still a possible third place finish in the championship for you as a runner up. What is the confidence level for you here as we go to Pocono and Phoenix?
All things considered, after the bad luck that we had outside of last week and certain events like we talked about Milwaukee and Texas, even that it's very high right now. So we're taking these with great stride. Us at BR are working really hard as well, and we're thankful for the opportunities that we get, and that's the bottom line.
Really great drive from you, Jacob, as always. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And this championship battle keeps finding ways to go to the bitter end and to the narrowest of margins. It's Colton Gardner in the 40 with another runner-up finish. It was looking really, really close for you. You had that incident earlier on with a spinning Jax Malin, but you clawed your way back, just couldn't get that final position. Talk to me about those closing laps for you there, Colt.
I just wish we could have had some more green flag action, like Jacob said. Had really good pace all race long, really. Whenever we were green and everything, I just struggle on restarts and everything. And it's the short track, and cautions, precautions.
There is our mandatory Denny Hamlinism that we've gotten here on the podium tonight. Let's talk about the track really quickly, because it really wasn't wheel to wheel racing that brought out the caution. It was slick as hell out there. Talk to me about how the conditions were for you, at least. And I know how difficult the Highline was for you. We almost saw you collect Casey Tucker there. It was clearly not an easy track to get around tonight.
No, it wasn't an easy track. I put in a lot of work before this race. I had it circled on my calendar and everything. And the thing with Casey Tucker, I feel bad about. I just overstepped the entry a little bit too much and slid up into him, unfortunately. But overall, I felt like I had a good handle of the car here, and I've had a lot of laps here in a lot of different leagues and stuff. And I wish it would have paid off tonight. I mean, I cliche saying that finishing second, but um, it was fun for the most part.
Still plenty of opportunities for you. Talk to me about what the feeling is here as we head into Pocono.
Just keep the wheels straight and hold on. It's going to be a fun one to the very end.
I'm liking that strat. Really great drive from you regardless, Colton. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Race winner. I'm starting to get tired of these two. I'm just kidding. Dawson Buchanan here in the number 4 car. And the domination continues. Talk to me about what felt like was right for you behind the wheel of the 4.
Well, I might be the odd one out here in saying that I was really glad to see a lot of those cautions tonight. Definitely helped me keep up front. I'm used to, so just getting fairly difficult to drive was probably one of the biggest key factors of the night.
Talk to me about those restarts, because DJ did a really good job in the booth of kind of pointing out the variety you had there. What was the approach behind the wheel there for getting things figured out on the starts?
Yeah, I guess it was very position based. Like, you'll have your share of old tires in front of you, and then obviously you got fresh ones behind you. If you're one of the ones that came down in pit, so like knowing that you have to do your best to hold off the people behind you and also dodge the ones in front of you, right? Because tires did mean a little something tonight. So, but there was a ton of things you could do, right? Like splitting bottom. That there's the second or third lane that I ran for a few laps here that it kind of worked. So there's definitely a lot of options there on the restarts.
Really, really great drive from you as always, for all of you guys on the podium. And again, this championship continues to find a way to work itself all the way to Phoenix. So the excitement just continues to build here as we work our way up to Pocono. But thank you guys so much for your time, and we will see you next week here at the Tricky Triangle. So that will be all we have tonight then for your podium, and we start to set our sights for the Pocono Mountains and the mountain-shaped track of the Tricky Triangle. Before that, we've got, of course, the Indy 250, where you will see a couple of gentlemen we just talked to jump in the Indy cars for their only open-wheel race of the season. But it's time for us to say goodnight because it's getting late for me, and I've got a burrito right here on my desk with my name on it. Thank you so much for watching Wednesday Night Dash and being with us all week long here on Stadium Scene TV. For everybody at Showtime Esports and Stadium Scene, my name is Jackson Lambros, thanking you so much for watching. We'll see you down the road.